We'll have a quick look now at doing the improper fractions and the fractions, simplifying, using the tables grid as a bit of an assistant. You should have a copy of the tables grid because it's been posted a few times. And of course, the tables grid anywhere on the internet will probably be as handy. So just make sure you've got something like that. Of course, as I've said before, the best tables grid is the one that's in your head, but this is for people who really don't have their multiplication tables in their head and they're reliant on some kind of assistant. So I'll choose a couple of examples that are in the actual worksheet that you're doing, and you can follow the steps exactly and show that working out when it comes time to turn in your work. So let's have a look at one of the ones from Monday. We're going to look at 2 over 10. So I'm going to write that down first, 2 over 10. And don't forget, 2 over 10 is kind of a way of saying 2 divided by 10, which you can do when you end up with a fraction, which is the theme of this week's maths. So 2 over 10, how are we going to do it? Well, you use the multiplication grid as a guide. What you want to do is find one of the multiplication tables that has both the number 2 and the number 10. And if you use the top number, the numerator, as a guide to which table to look at, that is going to be a pretty fast process. So have a look at what I do, and I'm going to use my tables finder, but of course you can just trace along with your finger. So I'm going to look at the 2 times table. So I'm going to slide this thing up to the 2 times table, and now I'm going to kind of go across until I find the other number I need, which is 10, and you can see it right there. Okay, so this is the table that we're going to be using. It's very handy. So what do we do with it? How do we use it? Well, pretty simple. There's the 2 and there's the 10. So in the case of this, all we do is look at the numbers at the top. So first I'll put it on the 2, and what number do you see at the top? You see the number 1 over, and now back to sliding across. There's the number 10. You can see at the top there, it's a 5. So 2 over 10, when you simplify it, is 1 over 5, and that's an equivalent fraction expressed in the simplest form. Pretty simple, and this will work for all of the questions that you have. There are a couple of wrinkles in there to make it a little more challenging as you go through the week, but that's basically it. The next one is when they're upside down, and that's called an improper fraction. And essentially you follow the same process. You'll notice in the Friday list of questions, it's kind of like the Monday list of questions upside down. So you can certainly take that path and just sort of flip them. But I will do one of them as an example, just to show that it's simple no matter what question you get, whether you've done it before or in an upside down version or not. Let's have a look at one of them. Let's do 9 over 3. It's the same deal. You want to find a multiplication table that has both the 9 and the 3. And so in this case, we're going to look at the denominator, the bottom number, as our times table guide, the one that we're going to go to first. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to look at the 3 times table. You'll see that the 9 and the 3, they're both in there. So because the 9 is on top, I'm going to deal with that one first. And if I look up, I see a 3 over what? I'm sure you've guessed. I'll look at the 3 now. It goes up and I can see a 1. 3 over 1. So that is the equivalent fraction. 9 over 3 is the same as 3 over 1. There's something else you can do with the 3 over 1, but I'm going to leave that up to you to figure it out. If you Google 3 over 1, type it in, and you type in equivalent fraction or simplify or something, it might give you a clue as to what else you can do with the 3 over 1, but I'll leave that for you to figure out as a kind of a bonus. Play the video again as often as you need to follow it. Get a hold of a multiplication grid. In your spare time, or if you finish early and you don't know your tables, that's an ideal thing to do. Learn your tables. Post in Google Classroom if you have any questions, or if you need some extra help, or if you want some extra resources, see what we can do for you. But until then, good luck, and we'll see you next time.